Hello and welcome to Irish Ears, a Disney fancast, your Irish viewpoint on Disney news with a slight bias on our home park Disneyland Paris. I am your host, Stuart from DLP Tips for Irish, and today I'm going slightly solo. Our lovely Megan can't make it tonight, but we're thinking of her and she'll be back on the podcast very soon. The silver lining is that we are joined by a very special guest in our first Symphony of Superfans series. You may know her as Happily Ever Aisling. It's Aisling Tennyson from the telly. Hello, Aisling.
Hello.
Aisling was meant to pop on for
Hello.
kind of a guest interview situation, but she now knows that she's pretty much co-hosting the entire episode. So, welcome, Aisling. It's been a while since you've been on the telly, so thanks for popping into this very low-budget version of Ireland AM. I'm sure you're disappointed that you're not speaking Tommy Bow, but I'll do my best accent if you want.
No, I'm not so happy to be here. Glad to be the first guest. A very big privilege, big honour.
Tell us where it started, and I have 45 questions for you. So go ahead. Where did it all start?
Well, I think like everyone else, I started watching Disney movies when I was small, and in 2004 I went to Disneyland Paris for the first time. That was my first ever Disneyland Paris Disney park experience, and I absolutely love it. And it's one of my biggest childhood memories and Jasmine wasn't even my favorite princess, so this is why the story is so stuck in my head. I was the one who got a Jasmine pin, and I still have it. Her arm broke off, but I still have it. And she was in the parade, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's you! Look at the pin, it's you!" And then she waves at me and blew me a kiss, as the princesses do to all the little girls dressed up like princesses. And that's just like been engraved in my brain. So since then, I always loved it, and then I got to go back again in 2015 for my second trip, and around that time, that was when all YouTube was kind of kicking off, so a lot of the like US parks were starting to come with like bloggers that were there regularly, so I was always watching their vlogs, and then I got to go back in 2021. That was when I got my annual pass, and that kind of like kickstarted it all. I took my boyfriend on his very first Disney trip, and in my head, when I was looking at it, I was thinking, annual passes, obviously they're going to be in the thousands, which we are on the way, probably
Yeah.
for annual passes now. But I couldn't believe it was literally like €6 more than 4-day two park tickets. So I decided just to get the annual pass, and then I had privilege tickets, RIP, kind of maybe to go along with them for my boyfriend to come. So we just cancelled our original €800 tickets and were able to get it with the annual pass, and then I went on 13 more trips since.
Only 13. Lucky number 13.
Only 13.
I'm sure you have many more planned, but we'll get to those in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So have you just visited Disneyland Paris, or have you been to any other parks, or what is your...
I haven't been to any of the US parks yet, but I would ideally like to go to California first. I definitely have found that I am more of a Disney, like for the vibes kind of a person, rather than running around and trying to get everything done in a day. Although I did do a challenge not that long ago of seeing how many rides I could do in a day, and I did get to 20, and that was the day before me and Stuart met up one of the times.
I remember, yeah.
I did get to 20. So that was good going for 20 in one day. A lot of that was thanks to single rider, but I think I would prefer California over Florida now that I've gone to Disneyland Paris so much. Originally, a lot of the Disney vloggers and that kind of thing were based in Florida, and I was always kind of like that was where I would have liked to go. But now I think I'd rather go to the original park first, go to California. I think it's more my pace, just
Yeah,
for
this
the vibe.
is definitely a California-friendly podcast.
Yeah.
we kind of prefer it a little bit more than... Yeah, exactly. Well, like she basically is going to move in there soon. So, no, I've been to both, and I didn't like respect California enough when I went. I was like... I just went, tagged it on to like a Vegas trip, I think it was. And
Two completely opposite things.
Oh, stop. Well, the hangover was just coming out at the time, so like, Vegas was the thing to do. And we just kind of nipped into Anaheim and to Universal Studios in California, and I have pictures, but like I'm not wearing any Disney gear at all, and it's just like this absolute noob going into Walt Park, but now I'd be like kissing the floor. But no, that is like, I'm always saying that I'm not a Disney snob. Like, I don't care where people have visited. You know, I don't care if you've gone once or twice. It's the love you have for just anything to do with Disney or any Disney park. Like, clearly, like, you 13 times in one annual pass, that's pretty good going. I think you've proven your salt with that.
Yeah.
You're in the fan club, okay? You're in the fan club. So your favorite ride, what is it?
In Disneyland Park, it has to be Big Thunder Mountain, and in Walt Disney Studios Tower. They're
Oof.
definitely the top two. Yeah.
Trail rides.
And favorite shows, I guess, to go with it. I definitely Pixar Together. I think that just took the cake for me. I really
Yes.
liked it over Mickey and the Magician. I think Mickey and the Magician is great, but also I seen it when I was here in 2015. So that is almost 10 years, going. So to have Pixar Together come in like as a new one, it just really is great, I think.
Yeah, I think Mickey Magician is suffering a little bit from. Do you know what it is? It's a bit like Stars on Parade in that it's really it really pleases the people who don't go often, and you get to see loads of princesses, and you get to see, like, you're ticking off Genie and you're ticking off
Everyone, yeah.
everyone like that, but like the show needs more, I think. And like no shade on cast members at all. Like I really enjoy the show, and for a lot of people it's their favorite show. Just like you said, like together with the innovation and the kind of sensory stuff going on, it's brought it to a new level, I think, probably.
Yeah, I definitely think like technology, I think Disney and Paris are doing technology really well, like integrating it like with the drones and everything that it is, keeping it kind of fresh, whereas Mickey and the Magician is purely like a stage, like a mini West End show with all your favorite kind of characters in that kind of a sense. But I think, yeah, the two of them, it's kind of hard to compare them because they are a bit different, like a good bit. There's a lot more interactive stuff in Pixar Together. I think that kind of brings it up to the next level.
Yeah, so Big Thunder Mountain and Tower of Terror. I've seen you doing photopass pictures of yourself alone on Tower of Terror. How do you manage that? I need emotional support to go on Tower of Terror.
I know. I don't know. I really like it. And the funny thing is I absolutely hate carnival rides. The drop carnival rides where it's the big tower, or not like a tower. It's just basically like a pole, and then the seats are all the way around in a circle, and it drops down. I hate those kind of things. But I, for some reason, really like Tower, and I also hate anything scary. Like, you couldn't pay me enough to get me into a haunted house, but I will gladly go on Tower over and over again, as long as the line's like 20 minutes or less. That's kind of my max for waiting in lines. But yeah, no, I just love it. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, a lot of people love it, and a lot of people, Big Thunder Mountain is, I mean, it's hard not to love that in Paris. It's just knocks it out of the park completely. Were you there with me when we discovered that? Well, not discovered that. I'm sure everyone knows it's apart from us, but that it runs faster at like nighttime.
Oh yeah, I think yeah.
Was that
the annual pass party or something?
Yeah. Because we got off and I
Yeah.
was like, geez, that was faster than before. And then the cast member said, yeah, we can go faster when it's colder at nighttime or whatever. So
Yeah.
there you go. Top tip for
I'm
Big Thunder
definitely all
Mountain
for
fans.
making it go faster,
Yeah. Oh.
even during the day.
Well, I can't wait to
I
see what they
always-
do with the kind of
Yeah.
renovations.
Oh yeah, me too. Let's open it next month.
Maybe they
Isn't
can
it?
go faster again.
Yeah, hopefully. Because I
Faster,
always
faster.
introduce it as like try Casey Jr. And if you think it was completely fine, then that's like the next roller coaster to try
Oh,
is Big
yeah.
Thunder. So it's
Yeah,
not
sure.
that fast. So I definitely think if they could like amp it up a bit, that would be really great.
Maybe they should run Big Thunder like slower during certain hours for people who would just want to like ease their way into the whole trail ride thing. Because I always say Big Thunder is like, it's like your gateway drug, isn't it? Into trail rides.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Especially with kids, because I think is the height requirement a little bit smaller on that one than like Fly Force and
Oh yeah,
things.
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
nearly sure it is.
Yeah.
So it is a good like stepping stone on the way up to try that one first before you go for In the Dark Upside Down.
Yeah, the thing I love about Big Thunder is that you're going on it, right? And you see people going around the mountain, and that's fine. I've brought a lot of people on it for the first time, and I think their first time, and like they see going around the mountain, and they're like, "Oh, this looks fun," and a bit of spray of water or whatever. But when you go on, like, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't been on Big Thunder, but when you're going on and off, you're going on and off the island, so you're going underneath the river, and it's just completely dark, and it runs really fast, like a getaway train. So almost the fastest parts of the ride are the start and the end. So it just smacks you in the face like as soon as like, okay, bye cast member, best of luck, and then suddenly,
Yeah, definitely the first bit and the last bit are always where you hear like the most screams on it compared to like everyone's kind of laughing and giggling and start talking to each other when you're actually on the mountain and then it's like ah
yeah.
for the bit.
A bit of a twister on this one now. What is your favorite ride that other people hate?
Um, hmm.
It's like for mine, for example, like mine is it's not my favorite ride in the park, but something like Casey Jr. where like people wouldn't go on it like often, but again it has to be done kind of thing. Or a Cars road trip where as a parent of two young kids, like just getting them to sit down for like 15 minutes is is like a bonus, and there's never a queue. So a lot of people hate on Cars road trip, but I kind of like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say okay. This might be cheating, but Mickey's PhilharMagic
Oh
is
yeah.
one that I love, and not many people either know about or it is in a really weird spot of the park where it's kind of behind Space Mountain, and you think that there isn't anything real there, or it's only Star Wars stuff. But there's hardly ever anyone in it. I feel like, especially unless it's raining, I feel like some people might gravitate towards it if they've been to the parks before. But that's kind of one that not really people hate, but I suppose people wouldn't go to it because it's kind of way out of the way. Because there's not really, apart from Orbitron and Buzz, and then it's kind of not kids stuff in that next section because you have Space Mountain, and then behind that you wouldn't think there really is anything. But yeah, probably that one.
Yeah, and if we're to believe the rumors, that's due to be like knocked down soon, that whole area, well, that in the next like 20 years, to make way for some sort of mini Star Wars land. So go see
Yeah,
PhilharMagic, while you can.
yeah, definitely. It makes sense to knock it down and put Star Wars there. I think that definitely would have been suited to the studios. I'm not sure why I didn't put that over there in the first place instead of like Stitch Live, maybe.
Oh,
Just
stop.
put that there instead.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, because it makes more sense kind of to be in the studios because it's going through all the different movies, which is makes sense with the studios team,
Yeah,
but
I
even though it's
think,
not really a team anymore over there.
do you know what, like Disney Imagineers, not so much Imagineers, but whoever's in charge of the parks, the planning of the parks more so than the building of the rides, like they put Tron in Magic Kingdom in Florida. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
If they have some space, they'll just put whatever they can, whatever. So the fact that Discoveryland was meant to be this beautiful French like ode to Jules Verne and all that steampunk stuff, and then they're just gonna ram Star Wars stuff in there.
Star Wars
Like,
in the back of
yeah,
it. Yeah. The same with the Alice stunt show. I mean, that doesn't really fit anywhere in the park, never mind right beside Avengers Campus, where it could
yes,
easily have been a Marvel show or something similar along those lines. I mean, even you could do it as it used to be a car stunt show, so in actual like cars, like instead of Cars Road Trip, a car stunt show where you have Lightning McQueen or something,
you're
I
talking
think.
too much sense. Too much sense. On that topic, like I know we always go. This podcast is famous for its segues. We just start talking about something and then we go off. But that whole Alice in Wonderland live action stunt show has gone very quiet in the last few weeks and months. So
Yeah,
there's some promotional stuff. Like I
it
can't see
seemed
it
to be
opening in the next month
there
or
was
two.
lots of like on DLP Works, lots of updates of seeing what was happening. There was something happening in it, and then they were looking for cast members, and then um nothing really since.
You're looking for a few
I
bikes.
thought it would actually been open by now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't.
I'm really
I
hoping.
just can't imagine what it's going to be like, really.
Well, it's going to be crazy because the world of Alice is crazy, especially live action Tim Burton movies.
Yeah, that's
So
what I presumed it would be more based on than
yeah, well,
the original
who knows?
cartoonish.
I mean, it might make sense. Yeah, the overall plan for studios when it's all put together, it might make sense that this is a wacky corner or something. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, back to
Yeah,
yourself,
who knows?
Aisling. Snacks. We all love snacks. What is your favorite snack in the park?
Definitely Mickey Waffles from Cool Posts in Adventureland. I
Yes.
get asked, that's probably one of my most asked questions whenever I have them in a vlog, that I got Mickey Waffles is where do you get them? Adventureland and Cool Post, it's across from Colonial Hades. Um, that's where you get the ones that are the mini ones, and then you can get the large ones because everyone knows that as well in Victoria's, and the food truck outside the studios. I don't know if you can get them anywhere else. I don't think so. Maybe seasonally
Yeah,
some places, but
the
they're the kind
studios
of
one
main
kind of
places.
moves around a bit. Like studios is a law unto itself these days. But definitely, I just think that like the ones in Victoria's are always covered in some sort of sauce, like a caramel sauce, or like,
Yeah,
so good luck eating that without getting that over yourself. And then the mini ones as well, they're great for sharing, I think.
yeah, yeah. I
Three
think
little
so,
mini ones,
definitely. Yeah, and I can't remember how much they were. Oh, I think they're.
about a
I
fiver.
don't think they're. Yeah, I don't think they're that bad, especially for how much you get. They used to be better during the 30th anniversary, I would
Oh, I
say,
know.
when they were doing a lot of things better. You got
Everything was.
chocolate and marshmallows. There's a lot of things that and then they just have Nutella on them just by itself. Um, but yeah, no, that's definitely my favorite snack. Mickey waffles,
Uh,
my go-to all
Actually,
the time. A little sweet treat.
I found that during the anniversary they were cooking them fresh, and then now they're
Yeah,
not.
I
Now
thought
it's like
that as well. Yeah, no, now it's
they open a
reheated.
drawer. Yeah, they open a drawer and put them onto the machine for like 30 seconds, and then serve you up like kind of
Yeah,
crispy waffles.
yeah, I've been finding that too.
Oh lordy. Well, let's stay positive. What is your favorite time of the year? So, what kind of season? What kind of vibe is your? Do you prefer when it's like cold and like wrap up warm with a hot chocolate, or do you prefer like blue skies and sun cream?
I think like end of September, start of October is my ideal time weather-wise. I do love Christmas, but I will say Christmas is fine for me for like a 1 or 2 day trip where you're only not going to be there for 5 days in the cold. Definitely, I think September and October when I went for the start of Halloween, not this year, the year in 2021, um, it was so nice that it was almost like summer weather, apart from just right at night time for the fireworks and right in the morning, like when you're heading to the parks, and then during the day it was really nice. So I think that's my favorite time, kind of just before Halloweenish, September, definitely weather-wise, for just you're not absolutely sweating and you're not absolutely freezing. Just a good
Yeah,
balance.
for sure. Like I went for the end of the anniversary there, and yeah, it was t-shirts pretty much all day, and then like the option of a hoodie at night time.
Yeah,
Um, and then
yeah,
I went for Christmas, and you're kind of like, oh, once you get rained on, and then you have like all your stuff with you, and it's all wet and cold. It's kind of like, oh, where's the magic gone?
yeah,
But yeah, you kind of have to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, you can definitely do longer trips during the summer. That's definitely my gig.
yeah.
You touched on favorite memory in the parks earlier with the Jasmine interaction. Did you have anything else, or was that your favorite memory? Full stop.
Um, well, I really like taking my boyfriend for the first time because when I have taken like my mom and my cousin, they had already been before. We went on Christmas this year and Halloween the year before that with my mom and my cousin. But with my boyfriend, it was his first time ever being in Disney. So it was good to see an adult like just going to the park who did like Disney but wasn't like a massive fan, and then like just how much he enjoyed it and then wanted to go back again. And we went
Sold.
back again then the same year, a couple of months later, basically for Christmas. Um, yeah, I think that was great because it was um a good mix. We went for 4 days, and when you're 4 days with just two adults, obviously we don't have kids, so we are can kind of do what we want and we're not tied to any schedules. We
The
were
dream.
have had a
The
good mix
dream.
of getting. We got everything done. He doesn't like thrill rides, so but we got everything done. Like I did the thrill rides as well because it was my first trip as well back, and had a good amount of time just like kind of wandering around because it was when it was really hot in the parks. So we had a good mix of just kind of like chilling out and enjoying the vibes of Disneyland Paris, but then also getting to actually get everything done as well.
Yeah, that sounds ideal. Like for people who are a bit of the younger variety, like in your 20s and stuff like that, please enjoy the time that you have before kids, and please enjoy the vibe before they come along and start pulling at your trouser like the whole time. I'm not saying that you can't go back without kids, but you do get funny looks when you have two young kids and you're telling people that you're going over by yourself or going over with your
Yeah.
wife and you leave the kids at home. Um, but yeah, that sounds ideal. Like I'm always telling people, like for trips, that like the vibe is just way more important than some sort of checklist of getting everything done. It's just
Yeah.
like it'll always be there to go back to. I know it's expensive, but like you and me are in the Adagio Ceres fan club, and like
Yeah.
just with an annual pass, Adagio Ceres, you found like €10 Vueling flights the other day.
A 10
So,
euro flight, my next trip. So
like,
if I get one
I mean,
home at the same price, they'll be good, doing well.
but people are obsessed with like staying in the Marvel Hotel or the Disneyland Hotel, and
Yeah,
then they say,
I've only ever stayed in Santa Fe and um Newport Bay when I was with you at the annual pass party because I stay in solo, so I wanted to be able to walk to a hotel where there was everyone around, obviously, because we were going to be there till 2 in the morning. And there's the only two times out of all my trips that I've stayed at a Disney hotel. Majority of my other trips have been at the Adagio High Park Terrace. I am
yeah, but
genuinely number
we
one
have to,
fan.
we have to just mention the sausages in Newport.
Oh,
Do you remember your room service?
yeah, that was an incredible deal, and I don't know why more people don't talk about that. Well, from what I can't even remember how many I got. Just too many, but that room service deal, I don't know if it's in every Disney hotel, but definitely look at the room service menu if you're not adding breakfast onto your package. I think it was like €12 and it was a full fry up with a lot. I think I got 5 or 6 sausages, something like that. I don't know how it happened.
Send more sausages.
Yeah, but definitely look at the room service if you're staying at a Disney hotel. But yeah, no, I stay off-site most times, and people are always shocked that there are off-site hotels, especially if it's their first trip that they're booking. That a lot of people hear of Explorers and that kind of loop of hotels, Dream Castle, because they're very family friendly. But for example, with the Adagio Hotel, they have a bus loop. So there is a shuttle bus to the parks, and it's also only like a 13 to 15-minute walk. And you can once you turn the corner basically of the bottom of the Strait of Adagio, you can see Tower of Terror. So that's how close you are to the parks. And on their bus loop, there are 3 hotels, and their busy bus is like a quiet bus for the Explorers, Dream Castle, B&B, Campanile, that whole row of hotels. And I feel like people always go for that row, that whole thing, because they're really marketed as family friendly. Whereas this one is just kind of a cheap, cheerful, clean, really nice budget hotel with a pool outside it. So it's not as family friendly in that there's playgrounds and arcades and indoor swimming pools and all that kind of stuff. But definitely, if you're looking to go on a budget, even if you have kids, it even has like a kitchenette where you can go to Valley Europe and buy, stuff for cooking breakfast if you're looking to save even more money, that you can actually cook your breakfast in the hotel instead of adding it home, and then walk to the parks or get the bus. And it's much quieter and more peaceful than the other hotels, I will say.
Please note, this podcast is not sponsored by Adagio Ceres. If Adagio Ceres would like to reach out to this podcast for a sponsorship, please let us know. Yeah. DM for collab.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is a very good hotel, and the staff are always really lovely. And like I've stayed there, I think 6 times. So, you know what?
I'm staying there next month. Like, I can't fault the place. Fair enough, it needs a few licks of paint and whatever. But as a hashtag Disney dad, I would say that having your bed literally so close to the parks and having a kitchenette and a fridge and stuff like that is way more important. And being able to get like milk really close by is way more important than some sort of sticky soft play area and a pool that apparently has a challenging level of cleanliness going on. So moving on then to forward-looking statements. What are you looking forward to most in the next few years? And don't say Arendelle.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen Million Splashes of Colour. I am looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to it in the hopes that it proves to be wrong from what I've seen online. You've seen it in person, haven't you?
No.
So,
no.
Have you not? Okay.
I've made a horrible mistake by not booking a trip in between February 10th.
I know.
I
was supposed to be staying there on February 10th was my birthday, and I was supposed to be staying in the Disneyland Hotel, but had to move it, so that's going to be later in the year. So I was going to be there on the opening day of it, but thank you. What I have seen on it, it seems a bit like Millions of Splashes of Colourless.
Yes.
It seems a bit flat or something. And I get that it's supposed to be like it's animated, like it's a 2D drawing, that kind of style. But I don't know. I think maybe I'm comparing this to Dream and Shine Brighter subconsciously. That doesn't look as colourful. I think it looks really cool, but I don't know, I feel like I have to see it in person to fully make my decision. So I am looking forward to seeing that in hopes that it will actually be really good. And what else am I looking forward to? I think well, the drone show, I haven't seen that either. So
Okay.
the
Sky
electrical
Parade.
light
Yeah.
parade, those two. Um, I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing what they do with Studio One in the studios, especially. The last trip I was on in January, I was taking pictures of like all of it and taking videos because I was like, this could just be closed any month soon. And because I know they have planning permission to do up the inside of it, so I just imagine they'll be walking around the two edges of the studios,
Yeah,
just
from
at
April.
Studio One to
Yeah.
get into it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. I feel like they're really moving away from the Walt Disney Studios kind of vibe for the whole studio. So I don't know if they're, well, like obviously we don't really know, but I don't know if they're going to stick with it or if they're going to just do something completely different, like make it into, I don't know, do something really general rather than the way it is right now, like Hollywood studio teams, which I think would be sad to see that kind of go. I think that's the only kind of Hollywood-ish part of the studios that is left. So I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm looking
Disneyland
forward to
Paris
see what they do with that.
has this kind of. I have no insider information here whatsoever, but they have this sort of mantra at the moment of like corporate luxury, and if they
Yeah,
apply that to studios, I don't know how that's going to work really. Because like, even with like Disney Village, it was always meant to be a little bit silly. It was always meant to be, like
90s
not
vibes,
taking itself too
cartoons.
seriously. Yeah, like leaning
Yeah,
into that whole thing where that we're not trying to be too cool.
yeah.
Whereas I think nowadays they're going to make Studio One into like an awards ceremony after party vibe, which
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I thought that looking at Rosalie, I know that's probably not owned by Disneyland Paris, but that is the vibe for the rest of Disney Village of what the way it's heading. Like that kind of thing. I was like they'd carried something like that, like a more like a not character dining, but a more like high class restaurant into the restaurant that's already there or something like that. I thought that I don't know. I just don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know. I'm
where we
interested
get
to
chicken
see.
nuggets. Yeah, need to get chicken
Yeah, where did
nuggets.
you get the only really chicken burger in Disneyland Paris? Do I go into that place a lot? No, but
No,
does,
I hate it.
does anyone that goes a couple of times more than once know?
Right. So, what would you change if you were going to do up studios, for example, or if you were going to make some magical changes to either like a hotel or to Disneyland Park? What would you change if you were in charge?
For studios, I would 100% be putting a Cars Land like they have in California, where Cars Road Trip is. They can keep Cars Road Trip if they want. If they love it that much, maybe add something else to it on the drive round before you get to the no spoilers bit in the middle. Um,
I think you're safe.
they, yeah, definitely. But a Cars Land, I think, and it would be perfect that you're kind of walking up that path when you're walking up two cars. They could make it look like the street where it was the Radiator Springs. They could make like that bit look a bit like it, and then you get to it, and it's maybe the fast cars ride that they have in California. Um, Not changing Tower of Terror into Guardians in studios would be number one on my list. I know I don't think Megan agrees with that. I think she said before that she wouldn't mind it being changed into Guardians, but I would not.
Well, just on,
Um,
sorry for the segue, but just during the week, we had kind of, this is not in any way classified information, but there was a gentleman from the Vekoma, I think you pronounced that, Vekoma company. They are a theme park roller coaster company and um, they do Avengers Flight Force. They're the company that makes Flight Force, but they also make Cosmic Rewind in Florida. And they were pictured in Avengers Campus, and they were like, I don't know how these pictures, like they were pointing at Tower of Terror.
oh
Is what I'm
no,
saying.
oh
Yeah,
no.
I'll send you the picture after the podcast.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch Tower Tower. Like I said earlier, Marvel stunt show, I think because that makes sense. And in Toy Story Land, Woody and Buzz should be meeting where that random blue building is, down the bottom with the monkeys on it. They should be there, or they should be somewhere in Toy Story Land and keep the Pixar place, is that what it's called? Pixar place for the Pixar characters.
Worlds of
I
Pixar.
think Yeah, I think also it needs a playground in Walt Disney Studios. I'm not even a parent, but I think they should have a Toy Story themed playground, just Pixar playground, throw
Easy.
it in,
Yeah.
easy done. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I do like Disneyland Park as it is. I don't think there is, except for Discoveryland being a little bit all over the place right now, but I don't think there's many things that I change in Disneyland Park. I think that's kind of okay for now.
What do you think of Indiana Jones?
Oh no, that can go. I changed my
That was quick.
Yeah, that's I haven't been in that in a long while. I was actually really delighted the day that I was doing that challenge of trying to get all the rides done in a day because it was closed for
Oh, nice.
renovations or closed because I don't know, someone got too bad of a concussion on it. For some reason it was closed
Standard.
and I was
Yeah.
so delighted.
Like there's so much land. When you look at the maps, there's so much land around Indiana Jones. And like you mentioned Cars Road Trip, there's so much land there. And you know the road up to Cars Road Trip where you have the Laugh and Go food truck on your left?
Yeah,
Even the paving looks like it's going to be the paving for the lake. You know, it's very classy
yeah,
paving. So
yeah,
maybe Cars Road Trip is entirely temporary, which would make sense. And maybe in
mm,
the plans we're going to get, like whenever we get this third gate, we're going to get an upgrade for this
whenever that
area as
is.
well. Well, like the whole point, Walt said himself, Disneyland will never be finished, and
It
Disneyland
will keep
Paris
going.
has taken that very literally. It's like
Yeah.
Disneyland Paris will never be started, really. Um,
It will never
so
be clear on what the theme is. It'll
no,
just kind
oh,
of keep
no.
evolving.
Oh, we had like so. This was just all about you. This first, like whatever we are, half an hour through now. But we do have more to talk about for the Symphony of Colors later on. So we will get into the meat and bones of what I think about the shows and whatnot. Do you
Yeah.
have any trip plans? You mentioned like a €10 flight you found.
Yeah, I did
What's
get
going on?
a 10-year flight for Vueling, which
You don't have
is
to
a
say
great
when exactly.
airline.
Just generally months and
Yeah,
stuff.
no, in the middle of March, I'm going on a solo trip. I don't have a return flight booked, so maybe I'll never come home.
Or, yeah, maybe you just get
Still
like
live over there.
yeah, get a job over there, selling bagels and
Um,
croissants.
yeah, and I'm planning on doing a bit of a longer trip. Usually I do one night or like 2 night trips if I am going solo, because honestly, if you're doing the early Aer Lingus flight or Air France flight and the late one home, that's kind of basically 2 full days, especially when you're going solo. That is a lot of time to get what you want to get done in the park. And for me, if I have any videos or anything that I want to do, that's usually gives me enough time to do it as well. But this one, I think I want to do a bit of a longer one. I don't know, just to kind of change it up a bit, especially because March is pretty quiet, especially it's going to be before St. Patrick's Day, so it'll be kind of quiet in the parks.
Yeah, and like I've been to March a few years in a row now, and it's my birthday month. And generally, it's
Woo,
nice weather, nice and cool and crisp. And I wish blue skies for your trips. Putting it out there.
hopefully.
Somehow I
Yeah,
have two
hopefully.
trips booked in March, and somehow I'm not going when you're going. I'm not going when Megan's going, and it's like, how is this happening? If I have two trips booked, no crossover whatsoever. But that has been
And do you have any
the
big plans
introduction
for your
to.
trips?
Oh, sorry, a big plan for my trips. Well, it's Paddy's weekend because I mean, like, as the kind of Disney ambassador for St. Pat, unofficial Disney pastor, I have to be careful here. Unofficial
Yeah,
Disney ambassador for St.
definitely.
Patrick's Day. um, People have told me that I should be there for St. Patrick's weekend, so I'm going to make it
Yeah,
happen
you
this
should
year.
be in the car with Mickey and Minnie. Don't
This
they
is
come
it.
down in the
I'll
car?
I'll just bring
You
my
should be
car.
in it.
Yeah. Um, and like, do you know the way they set up this very disappointing non meet and greet out in front of Plaza Gardens, where it's just a backdrop. You take a picture with the backdrop.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of just standing there and get like a cast member come over and pretend
Photo
like it's a
pass
meet and greet for me.
with Stuart.
Yeah, exactly. And just be handing out badges and stuff like and whatever people are like. All good vibes. Um, but yeah, a lot of people have said, like, I'm hoping in the past that we got little pre-shows. There's a lot going on now with Sky Parade and Dreams, so I don't know if we're going to get a pre-show, but the Irish get treated well over there, so hopefully we can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're one of few that get our the holiday celebrated, so
well,
It's a
pretty
good
much the
thing.
only one who, like, apart from Bastille Day, there's no other
Country that gets it.
nighttime show edition for any country in the world at Paris. So there you go. And then the same week, I'm going to the AP party. So
Oh
that's going to
yeah,
be,
I forgot that was on.
yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Like, oh, I just wish they'd just go full French on on AP parties, don't they? Like, they just go, like, even that's not even
Yeah,
a language thing, but they get uh, Jimmy and Betty
like the
out.
treasure map when we did
Oh, stop.
the that one that I came to was a scavenger hunt one, but the instructions were all in French, and we tried translating the website and that kind of thing, and yeah, no, it just didn't really work.
Yeah, so I asked Disneyland Pass Instagram account to put out a thing saying, "Oh, do you have any questions about the night?" And I asked the question, "Is it going to be fully bilingual?" Because I think it's kind of important if you have to come up with a passcode to get into a part of the land with special meets for
Yeah,
characters that you might be able to like speak the language or something. And then I saw that DLP report on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, X, were saying that you can literally put in a Google search saying common words between English and French that spell the same.
oh
And
yeah,
this would be super
which would be
handy,
a
like,
clever idea. Yeah,
croissant or something like. Um, so who knows? Like, they didn't answer my question on Instagram, so I'm kind of getting scared now. But they said they're going to have 70 characters out on the night,
oh wow,
and I think that the Christmas Beauty and the Beast night went pretty well, apart from the fact that it was on a Thursday, which is not cool for school. And
yeah,
this one is Friday. I don't think it's sold out still, which is fine by me because it means more room or whatever.
yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
I'm looking forward to it. Like, it's gonna be I'm going on a one nighter, so I'm gonna just like arrive at the parks, hopefully at about 6:30, and then go till two
Straight into the
a.m.
party,
and then magic time the next morning, and then whatever, just deal
and
with it.
then home.
Yeah, then back to the kids, you know. Um, so that is my plan for March, and then the rest of the year will happen. Whatever, it's all good.
Yeah,
That
that's what I'm like. Go with the flow.
that is the very friendly roasting of Happily Ever Aisling. Thank you for your time. You're going to stick around while we go through the news and whatnot, and give us your thoughts and what all the good stuff. So we're recording this on. It's not Sunday the 12th of February anymore. It is. This is meant to be Sunday the 12th of February. It's Wednesday the 21st of February. This is how long it takes to get people to sit down together. It's Wednesday the 21st of February. It's a good thing that we're recording this now because there's news every day, and that's just regarding Disneyland Hotel. So we had a round of the Christmas season. I was over there in November. We did a podcast then. Nothing else really happened at Christmas. They kind of added on a few happenings in that were very late notice, apparently, even with regards to cast members, like getting told very late in the day that, oh, by the way, you're heading out into Town Square to do this kind of thing. Or the Aurora show that was happening in Castle Stage, that was apparently very last minute as well. And I got kind of frustrated because we went over the first week. This always happens with Disneyland Paris. You go over for what you think is like the launch week, and you're expecting to like make content and whatnot, and then like 2 weeks into the season, they bring out a new show, and it's kind of like,
Yeah,
hang on, I've spent my money just going over making content, hoping to get through the season, and then there's a new show that I have nothing on. So like, do I go back or whatever? I don't know.
yeah. Well, we were there for the last weekend of Christmas, so literally the last 2 days, and we were standing at the Christmas tree and we were getting pictures, and the girl that was taking our pictures just happened to say, "Oh, and there's a parade happening now," and I was like, okay, well, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's not, no, it's not on the app or anything like that,"
No, no.
and so a parade came and it was great, and Mickey and Minnie were up on the train station, and the characters all got off and came into the gazebo in the middle, and I hadn't seen even anything on social media about it, and this was the very last weekend, and usually I kind of spend too much time on TikTok, so I see what's happening all the time, but I hadn't seen anyone post this as if it was um like, oh, and they've just introduced it or it's this new thing. So yeah, I couldn't believe it and that was just by chance that we happened to be in the right place at the right time, that we got to see the parade, and it was really quiet. Like, there was hardly anyone around because obviously the top of Main Street is where people come in to go off into the park, so no one's really hanging around there unless you're kind of meeting Winnie the Pooh maybe, or Tigger I think was there, or going to City Hall. You're not really hanging around for too long. But yeah, so there was hardly anyone. Like we were able to walk from the footpath back to the gazebo and then round the place. Like there was so much space, there was hardly anyone, and it was just something that kind of came up last minute, and it wasn't even on the app. So I think yeah, there's a lot, seems to be a lot of things like that as well. The Princess show, we didn't even get to see it because I wasn't sure what time it was on.
No, and
and we were just there for so short.
It was one of these strange. It was like as if they had made this show for Princess Week, but they went with a different show with Moana and Tiana and stuff like that. So they kind of just brought this out. Like obviously, listen, full respect to cast members, the work they put in and all this. This is just like managerial decisions that we always are frustrated about with Disneyland Paris. Like the cast members are all given the socks, and you know when they're doing what they do, they're making magic. It's just the planning is weird, as they know more than anyone else. So Christmas kind of came and went. We had a kind of a cowboy cookout, actual barbecue situation, which I couldn't believe. Like it seemed like it was going to be out of action for months, and I was like grieving over this place. And then 2 days later, it was back open with a plastic roof. But curiously enough, they haven't been serving sausages since. So I don't know.
Oh, maybe that was the issue.
Maybe, yeah.
They're all traumatized from it now.
Yeah, I don't really know what's happened there, but literally.
Yeah, you were definitely my first. You were definitely my first thought when I see the Aisling Fires. I don't know if Stuart's going to starve when he gets over.
That means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. Yeah, I just think it's a great place, and the fact that you can like be sitting there outside with the wasps trying to drink your Coke, and you're watching like Minnie meeting characters, and then Goofy comes flying over from the other section, and you're just there chilling, and I just love it. Like, and the food is great. Like, let's be honest, it's probably microwaved, but like it's just nice. You know, I like it.
Yeah, no, I like it though.
So we had the small matter. This is probably going to make up the chunk of the whole podcast. The small matter of the Disneyland Hotel reopening on January 25th. I am going through an entire roller coaster of emotions with this hotel, because the experience that I got on the first day, second day, was not the experience that they got a week later at the media day, and is not the experience that happened in the days after the media day, and is not the experience that you're going to get today in the middle of February. So very frustrating. I'll just go through some things, like some bullet points of the hotel. Well, the Royal Banquet, I ate there. There's like a lunch and a dinner. I didn't know that there was going to be different food at these two different times, and then different characters. So they're kind of like doing you dodgy on that situation, because at lunch it's kind of a lighter menu, which kind of makes sense, but dinner has whatever higher quality and more substantial options. So like you get like full on lobster, like all you can eat lobster at dinner, whereas you get like little langoustines at lunch, and you get what could pass for steak at dinner, but again at lunch you just get kind of like more like stews and stuff, like these kind of like saucy meats. But yeah, it's all about the characters for Royal Banquet really. You're paying €100, €50 for a kid, and for lunch you get, at the moment, you get Mickey, Minnie, Donald and Daisy, and at dinner you get Mickey, Minnie, Pluto and Goofy, which is kind of a bit strange when Plaza Gardens you get 6 characters. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but people tend to be happy with the fact that it's royal outfits and whatnot.
Yeah, I think definitely with any character dining, you're paying for the characters rather than the food. I think some people go in and expect characters and a great meal, but you're definitely just more paying for the characters. But that is kind of crazy that they have less characters for really a lot more.
Yeah, it's the most expensive buffet, Disney buffet in the world. So there you go. What was strange for me, well not strange, it was actually a pleasant surprise, was that how much time you got with the characters. So obviously with a buffet you're going to be there for about an hour and a half, just like everyone tends to go straight in and like get stuffed straight away, but you really want to take your time in a buffet, character buffet. And like we had Mickey and Minnie, Donald and Daisy, and each of them came around twice. Like I remember Minnie came around once, and we did our autographs, took some pictures, got her to do a spin, her lovely outfit or whatever. And then I was like, she went off, and I was like, never got a video for Megan. And then, like, she came back again. Yeah, she came back again. And I was like, she was basically just hanging out. Like, she was in absolute no rush. I know it was like
walking around, yeah.
This was day 2, so probably it was lower capacity than it would be, like, for disclaimer purposes, like during the summer or Easter or whatever the hotel is actually in a state where they should have been ready to open it. But we'll get back to that later. And yeah, like we were tripping over, like the characters were tripping over each other. Like, if I had known that I was going to get so much time with the characters, I would have set up like Donald Daisy dancing. I would have taken a picture with the 4 of them. You know, there was just so much time and space with the characters, and maybe that's the gig. Maybe that's what the plan is, that you have loads of characters, so much time. Moving on then to Table de Lumiere. I didn't go to that, so I can't speak for direct whatever. But you get like 2 or 3 princess and prince couples, and they come to your table, similar to auberge, but they're the couple, so you get the prince and the princess. The food seems to be, you know, an attempt at high quality. It looked like, for example, Sam Forgod did a great video on it, and the food looked pretty good, like, as in, I'm not sure that you compare it to a high quality restaurant back home here, or like, I have no idea about high quality restaurants in Paris, but I assume they're world class. But yeah, they're apparently going to put in a 3rd restaurant, ran by a famous French chef, which looks to be getting put into the Casa Club founders bar kind of area. I don't know, we'll see what happens. I didn't know that there was a price band beyond €120 per person in a theme park hotel, but
I don't know how they'll fill that one, but we'll see.
Well, like, the Disneyland Hotel, it's funny. So a lot of it has been done on feedback from particularly American guests and surveys of American park goers. Like, if you were going to Paris, what would you want to see? And this is what they say they want. So that's a lot is happening with the Disneyland Hotel. There was a bit of controversy over the lobby art, which you might have seen me stood in front of it with Natasha Rafalski, our dear friend of the podcast. I didn't have time to bring up the 2,000 issues that we've raised via the podcast, but she was delightful. You know, I'm not going to have a go at someone face to face at the opening of a hotel, but apparently, like, that lobby, that artwork in the lobby, like, isn't passing an awful lot of those AI tests that they can run these days, where you put a picture into AI and tells you whether it's being constructed by AI or not. Like, it has a few glitches. So, I mean, that's if the fact that it even is a question is bad, I think. You know, the fact that
I think so. I think if the same with did Walt Disney World put out the Thanksgiving poster where all the characters looked a little funky, and everyone in the comments was just saying that looked like it was AI as well. I think especially you're in Paris, and like the stained glass windows in the castle were done by the same person as the help with the Notre Dame or something like that, if I'm remembering from a documentary. I think it should be on par, considering it is the second probably biggest icon of Disneyland Paris is the Pink Hotel, and then the actual castle itself. I think the artwork should have been, I don't know, definitely passed an AI check.
Yeah. We also had the castle plaque, which is like on the floor in front of the Main Street Railroad Station, and I think that looks nice. I think they did a good job with that.
From pictures, it looks very good. It's
clearly meant to be viewed from the Castle Club. I've seen like videos and stuff from the Castle Club looking down onto the castle and stuff like that, and the castle looks properly proportioned from up there. So it's a bit of a shame that they just did it for like the whatever 30 or 40 rooms that they have in the Castle Club. But yeah, and then we have the Royal Dream debacle, which is the kind of bippity boppity boutique makeover situation. Like, don't get me wrong, it seems like a fantastic facility. So the people who went in, I was speaking to people who went in on day 1 and day 2 and stuff like that, speaking to parents and other adults who went in since then, and it just looks to be an amazing experience. It like kids, like boys and girls, whatever, like, are going in and they feel like royalty. And we had the usual flip flop on the fact that you could book it if you were staying at a Disney hotel, and then they pulled that back to just being Disneyland Hotel. They are honouring bookings that are made up to 31st of January in other hotels. But yeah, they've had to pull it back a little bit, which raised the interesting topic of like, why is this facility not available in the parks as well for people who
Yeah, it
aren't?
should be. I
Yeah,
always have always thought where they do the face painting in Fantasyland, they could easily have something like that there, the right beside the dress shop. I think it's like prime location for that kind of a thing, where you have all the dresses, and then you're like, oh, and you can also get a makeover across the road there with your dress purchase or whatever add on. Um, yeah, I definitely think they should have it in the park somewhere, not just in the hotels.
yeah. It was surprising to me how little they changed of the. I didn't know Disneyland Hotel like very well before the renovation. We just kind of fell into the hotel onto the sofa just to kind of relax during a day or whatever. Never stayed there, obviously. I never went to like a bar. I went to Inventions, but didn't go to, just didn't hang out in the hotel. But they couldn't move any of the walls anywhere in the hotel, which is strange for like a 4-year renovation. So if you ask me, like the royal dream you should finish up with a princess meet. Does that make sense? That
That
would have
would make
been,
a lot of sense.
yeah. But they
Yeah.
put the princess meet down in the kids club, which is in the basement beside the spa.
Oh,
So it's a bit of a strange setup. So about a week, a week and a half roughly after the actual opening of the hotel, which I fully paid for, by the way. They had the media event where they invited all these dignitaries and other people to stay for free in the in the hotel.
content
And
creators,
yes,
different
and
things.
put on. Well, these are clearly mega content creators who get
Yeah.
invited to different things every week. If I ever got invited to anything, that I would lose my life. But so there was. I didn't like it. I didn't like what they did. Where clearly it was a marketing event, which is fine,
Mm.
but pictures went all over the world of like 10 or 12 princesses dancing down the stairs at the same time, in a kind of a show, and that's not going to happen for people when they go.
Yeah.
Um, the princes and princesses. I really don't want to ruin the magic here. Please cover your ears if you don't. But I think they were, let's say, on a visit from a different kingdom. So you're probably not going to see those faces again. And yeah, I just felt that, just watching the vlogs and things, that it was a strange setup. Like, obviously people got to see all the rooms and things, which is great because we didn't actually see the suites like really at all. There was a lovely little girl, I think it might have been part of Make-A-Wish, that got to stay in the Frozen suite the first night. So that was great to see, because I was worried that was going to be some famous French footballer or something staying in the Frozen suite on the first night, but it was a lovely little girl who got to she got to meet Elsa in the suite and everything. So that's what it's all about, isn't it? Like, it's making dreams come true,
Yeah, definitely.
not just taking checks.
Yeah, I think out of all the content that I've seen from the media day, I think there was one girl that was vlogging that actually was really enthusiastic and seemed that she actually enjoyed Disney outside of just being invited to this day. I mean, anyone, if they got invited to stay at a brand new hotel in a lovely suite and get, VIP treatment for going to Disneyland Park, would be really excited. But I think out of all the content I've seen, there was one that was very enthusiastic about actually being there. That, you could see that this was like a big deal for her in comparison to, as you said, just like an influencer who goes to lots of things. Yeah, it was interesting content coming from that.
Interesting.
A lot of
Really
comments.
was.
Yeah, a lot of
Um,
comments that going to be probably disappointed, as you said, with the different things that was happening.
yeah, well, so we have the flip-flop of the visitor entry debacle going on. So at the start, it was just exclusive to hotel guests. And then the day after the media event, they kind of said, grand, we have our pictures, we have our videos, we have our press stuff. go and wreck the hotel, please. And but not really. They only let in like, a few dozen people per day. So like their original plan was to have a queue outside the door, where people were queuing from like 7 8 a.m. There was no priority queue, no regard for anybody with additional needs, etc. And then you had guests who were paying upwards of €1,000 per night to like I have second hand reports of people who were entering the hotel after I wouldn't say a tough day, but like a long day in the parks, and they were going back to what they like. But like normal people are stretching for this hotel. Like it's not just people who are rich or whatever. Okay, like clearly if you're paying €1,000 a night for a hotel, you're probably not worried about your bills at home. But everyone has their goals about their money and whatnot. Who's the judge, right? But you have normal people, like normal people who have normal cars at home, normal 3 beds, whatever, like, and they're just stretching a little bit to stay in what is a dream hotel. And they were getting shouted at for like skipping the queue from people who were in the visitor queue. Like it was getting nasty. And that is not, by the way, that's just like a bad egg in the queue. That's not a reflection on like the fact that like people were queuing. It's okay. Like it's okay for visitors to come in. But my overall thoughts, and I put it on my Instagram over the last few weeks, is that they had a good thing going with the kind of exclusivity and the fact that you were so closed in the hotel. It felt like you were literally in the princess's residence, if you get me. And the more they open it up, the more they are clearly, which we've seen, they are pulling back on the access to the princesses. Like I've seen lately, the princesses up in the balcony and just waving down, whereas when I was there, they were mingling. So that's disappointing. And who knows what's going to play out over the next few weeks and months with summer getting busy, the Olympics. We'll see how it goes.
It's going to be busy.
Which leads us on to, unfortunately, the mixed reviews that have come out recently. So TripAdvisor is clearly not somewhere you're going to go and praise any hotel, but I think it's working off like a 2.5 out of 5 at the moment on TripAdvisor. There's reports of furnishings being extremely worn already. There's this whole saga over bathroom robes or like spa robes. So clearly there's a very nice Clarins spa in the hotel, and Disneyland Paris takes money off you for 4 people max to stay in a standard room, and they only provide 2 robes. So if you were to go, which it happened on day 1, day 2, like it wasn't like a fussy thing. People were going down in their robes and their swim gear, obviously, not in the nip, to the spa. And if you had a room for 4 and you rang down to reception to get more robes, they were kind of like, they were definitely saying, I'm sorry, it's only like 2 per room, or, you only get 2. It's same with the slippers, which, we can manage with no slippers, but the robe situation was very strange, and it continues to be strange. Like on our day 1, okay, so technically there shouldn't have been anybody in the hotel before us. Now I know cast members had to test out the hotel a week before the actual opening. That's fine. But I mean, like day 1, we had nothing in our fridge, which is meant to be, stacked full of water and little snacks. And so we had to ring down for like snacks because you want the snacks. And just little things like that. Like there was like, you would think that, okay, there's 450 rooms, like send one person in the hotel to 5 rooms each to make sure there's a little checklist that on day 1 that all the things are there at least. So
especially when they know that day 1 likely isn't going to be a family who've randomly decided to rock up to Disneyland on the 25th of January or whatever it was. It's going to be people who love Disneyland Paris and want to be first in the hotel and are going to be shouting about it.
Yeah.
I think that especially that they know it's going to be people who have been waiting for years for it to reopen so that they can come back and stay in it. And now, like, I think definitely it should be something that's just automatically, like, we have to make sure that everything's perfect for at least the very first week. I know that sounds awful, like, I'm not saying the service should slack for the rest, but I mean, if you're opening it after such a long time, so many construction walls being up for months and months. And definitely the standard of it like should be exceeding expectations, not the other way around, kind of.
And it's the easy things. So it's the easy things like the quality of the furnishings. That's just a budget decision. Little things like putting snacks in your fridge, that's just management, like a kind of a supervisor or whatever situation. That just takes someone to put up their hand and go, I think someone should check all the fridges. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it kind of, I hate to say it, I think they opened it too early. I think that I don't know why they picked January 25th, but maybe there was a plan to get it open right before the new season, and they wanted it well bedded in before the Olympics in the summer. But like outside where we stayed in the West Wing, that's beside the swimming pool, but we were on the I'm going to say second floor, I think it was. So there's floors 0, 1 and 2, so we were on 2, and 0 was ground floor. But looking out onto the garden, it was mostly muck. It was mostly like unlandscaped tread marks of, not diggers, but like, cherry pickers, and there was just like right below our room there was loose wiring, like like electrical wiring.
Yeah.
What it's all good. Like, it happens, but I think they opened it a little bit too soon. And who knows the reason why.
Yeah.
But hopefully, like, listen, all we can do is give feedback, and don't get me wrong, anybody that has booked to stay there is still going to have an amazing time. It's like, we don't know if you're staying there in summer, if you're staying there next winter. I mean, hopefully through all this feedback, they're going to up the standard of the experience and the little things that we're saying. So this will enhance your stay, and I certainly wouldn't be worried about like the fact that you've booked it and now there's a few bad reviews. Yeah, these are all things that can be fixed very quickly. So that kind of concludes the Disneyland Hotel section. I don't know what else to say about it, really. I think because, like I said, my experience is probably very different to the experience that people got this week. But I am keeping in touch with people who are staying pretty much like every week so far, and no one has said that there's been a massive like drop off in the feeling of the hotel. Like, a lot of people are saying that, oh, you ring up and you ask for this and that, and you kind of are a bit slow to. I think there's an awful lot of new staff in the hotel, but yeah, it's people are still saying,
Still
and
finding its feet, kind of.
Yeah, well, I tuned into a TikToker the other day who was live streaming, and I still got the aura of the hotel. I still got the vibe. It's a very classy vibe. It's like, all Disney princess music played on piano, like obviously I couldn't say on a CD, but like, that's showing my age. Someone has a Spotify premium account and is playing the Disney music by piano. So it's very classy. You step into the hotel and it feels different from the other hotels. So you do get what you're paying for in that regard. And like, I didn't go to the swim pool. I didn't go to Lumiere's. So there's an awful lot of stuff that I could have done. But last tip for the Disney Hotel: if you have Disney Hotel booked and if you have Auberge booked, just cancel Auberge, please. You don't need it. You can meet like 6 princesses over the kind of 2 days that you're going. So yeah, Disney Hotel done. We'll review it again in a month's time for all the updates.
And when I go back,
it's probably gonna be new rules in a month. So like, hold that thought. Very short note: we have different magic passes for all the hotels now. Going back to Disney Hotel, I thought the Disney Hotel ones were kind of boring. I was really hoping for some sort of better magic pass or whatever. I saw this kind of lovely blue one, and I thought that was only for Casa Club, but it's actually a generic magic pass situation. So I've seen the Santa Fe ones, I've seen the Shem ones. I stayed in Hotel New York the night before I stayed in Disney Hotel, and I was like, give me that nice Hotel New York magic pass. And they were like, oh, we don't have them yet. So do you know what I got? I got a 30th anniversary
a 30th.
magic
I
pass.
was just going to guess that.
I was like, come on. I have enough of those.
Only a few months late.
Yeah, I don't know if I can like go back into the hotel in a few months' time and say, oh yeah, I stayed in January and I got and I got a 30th anniversary pass. So then pop-up surprises. I don't know. Were you at the ones for like Q3 last year?
I was at Tinkerbell and
Yes.
Oswald. They
So
ran very smoothly. I was very impressed by it. Just
yeah,
in at your time, meet them right away and done. I mean, with characters, I'm kind of like a much like the annual pass party that I went to, when I'm very happy with just walking past characters, saying hello, getting a selfie, and going on. I wouldn't be for queuing an hour to meet anyone, never mind like an hour and a half or 2 hours to meet Stitch. So I'm definitely I think it worked really well. And obviously, I don't know how they could maybe like a virtual queue or something for other characters in the parks, but that format works really well where you have a time slot and there's so many people and you meet two and then you can leave. And then that's kind of it. Thought it just worked really well. I thought
yeah,
especially after like having been annual pass
that
and
was
the parties.
that was definitely the vibe for the most recent pop-up surprise as well. Like myself and my wife have annual passes, so we had one slot on one day and the other slot on the next day. So we got Anna and Elsa, and then we got Toulouse and Berlioz, and they were like it was like straight in, get your picture. Like I'm not one for queuing for ages, but not that I like to take my time. I just think like the characters don't want to just do picture next, picture next, picture next.
Yeah.
It's a like that's not much of an existence for them. So
Yeah.
I always like to say something at least.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's good to have a good prompt going into it with something to say that you know that will get a good reaction or help like get them to tell you a little bit more or something. I think that always helps. It gets much better interactions and makes the long wait actually worth it if you can have like a question or something on hand.
yeah, I
Ready
will
to
say
go
that
for them.
the kittens need to stay, the Aristocats. So like I'm talking, they could easily reach like Duffy levels of fandom in Paris. Like there's
Definitely.
three
I
of
mean,
them.
Marie already is very big. Like she's on lots of stuff in pennies all the time.
Yeah.
Like so, she is a very popular character, and you don't see her anywhere in the parks, and it makes sense because they're French that they should be already
So
in Disneyland Paris.
maybe we should kind of edge out Stitch and bring in the
Oh,
cats.
yeah, yeah. I
Here
think
for
that's
it.
a great plan.
There we
Yeah.
go. So the Electrical Sky Parade. Now this kind of links in with the whole Symphony of Colours, and you are our first guest on Symphony of Superfans. I thought that was a great thing. And wait till you see the cover
Yeah, I
art for
thought
the
so too.
podcast episode. Um, so, I mean, each individual part of this is cool, right? But I have no idea what's going on with this season. Like, we have the amazing Electrical Sky Parade. We have the Million Splashes of Colour Day Hub Show Parade. And there's no connection between the two of those things. And then we have the decorations down Main Street, which have no connection to either the Sky Parade or the Million Splash of Colour Parade. So
Yeah, I didn't even know about the decorations till I seen Malia's stories the other week, and I was like, oh, they look very Tinkerbell movie vibes, the flowers, and that's what I was kind of getting off them. And then I was like, does that link in? Who knows?
we don't know. So, but they're actually really cool because they clearly kind of reused the mechanics from the 30th anniversary spinning medallion thing, and they have a screen in the middle of it now, and they have screens all down the kind of flower things going down Main Street. And then they have used an awful lot of fake grass in the hub as well, which is unfortunate. And then for Million Splashes of Colour, they have kind of splashes of paint in the central hub area, which again doesn't link well with Main Street at all. And every few hours or so, there's this Tinkerbell and Periwinkle show that goes on Main Street as well. So every hour or so, do you know like at Christmas time where Santa says, "Ho ho ho, let's light up my Christmas tree," and then like there's a thing. So they've done this with Tinkerbell and Periwinkle,
sparkles.
whereby they just talk to each other. I don't know if it's in English and French, but they're very annoying voices, and like the main street kind of lights up in a strange way, and there's really no payoff at the end. So yeah, I don't know what they were doing with that. So we'll just deal with it one by one. Electrical Sky Parade. You've obviously seen enough content about it that
it looks amazing. Yeah,
I can say
it looks really
without a doubt that
incredible.
What you see on the phone, on the screens, on Instagram, TikTok is not as good as seeing it with your own eyes.
Seeing it in person.
Like
I'm very excited to see it.
Completely hits different. I was one of those people that were like, I would say lukewarm to warm when I saw it. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is amazing. I was like, okay, this is great, but will it hit the same as Disney Delight? And then when I saw it, and you get the whole wraparound like music and stuff, and I stood back on Main Street to get like the big effect of the drones. And yeah, it's just 10 minutes of just crazy music, and it's like a drug. It's like I was like whistling that for the whole weekend. But yeah, I loved it. Like, hats off to the whole Droneasos and drone team at Disneyland Paris. Like, is there anything they can do wrong? Really, they kept on improving Delight. They brought us the Avengers show, and now they've brought us Sky Parade. And who knows what's going to come with whatever's happening in studios. So moving on, is the Million Splashes of Colour Parade, which, like you said earlier in the podcast, lacks colour. Like, apart from the dancers' outfits are great. Do you know what's happening with the boxes?
No.
No one does.
I think that this parade really would have been perfect for Walt Disney Studios, which sounds a bit odd, but when you have, it looks like it's being brought to life, like it's in motion, as if it's like in production in Hollywood. You have Animation Academy in studios. It's the same kind of vibes where it would fit, I think, really well over there. I feel like after Dream and Shine Brighter, everyone was like, that was just so colourful, and like, you know, I feel like that's going to be the standard now that everyone is going to be compared to, which probably isn't fair, because that was just like they just knocked it out of the park with Dream and Shine Brighter. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm hoping that it is better in person than it is, and we're also in winter time, so we don't have blue skies. It's a lot of grey. The videos that I've seen mostly is bad weather. I mean, even Dream and Shine Brighter in the winter time wasn't as colourful as it was when you have a blue sky. So I'm hoping that that's just the case.
Yeah. What do you make of the music?
It's not bad. I don't mind it. It's okay song.
I like the main song, and then I think that the mix is a little bit all over the place, to be honest. I think some of it hits really good. I think there's parts of Beauty and the Beast in there that really hit good towards the end. So the way it's done is that, like, the first part is old school, like, you know, 30s to 60s, and then they go through the renaissance of the 90s, and they have modern music at the end. But some of
I thought that actually it's a good like Disney 100 song almost.
Yeah.
That it went, because it went through everything, and kind of you have bits of on all the different decades and everything like that, since they're doing the decades collection. Like, it worked well for that, and now we're out of Disney 100. So maybe they wrote it in thinking that it might have happened around Disney 100 before that.
Yeah, I think it has everything. I think it has more songs than it does for Dream and Shine Brighter. I think you only get like one line of certain songs, which is a shame. I always thought that with Dream and Shine Brighter, you always got a few lines of the
good sections for each character.
Of the song. Yeah,
like they always had a little bit of talking and things.
Like, I think poor Asha gets like maybe one line in the whole thing. Moana tends to be sporadic in her attendance at the parade. So she's...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
that's not good.
Just the people watching, like, Moana's very busy in Montanui, so if she's too busy in Montanui, she doesn't perform.
She won't be there.
And then the poor people wailing like North Koreans, wailing in the streets over Stitch not being able to meet during this whole thing, and him in the parade instead. Like, it's crazy. It's another level of disappointment for people. But like, why couldn't they have Stitch meeting in studios, for example?
Yeah, I keep him with Stitch Live. Let's take him out of Disneyland Park and,
There you
as we
go.
said, put Marie and her brothers over there in Casey Corner, Casey beside Casey's.
But if Stitch is like this quasi Duffy character for Paris, right, and you're taking him out of meet and greets to put him in a parade, but hang on, Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, Daisy, they can all meet, and they're in the parades. Like, what's going on? I don't know.
Yeah, don't know.
Natasha, are you listening? And then, like, we touched on the decorations. The decorations, I'm not like, they're only here till May, which is strange. They're kind of winter, like they have icicles everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what that was giving me the Tinkerbell, that winter Tinkerbell movie. I can't remember the name of it, but that's exactly what it looked like. So if they were trying to emulate that, they did a very good job, because that's what I got as soon as I seen Millie's pictures and videos of it. But yeah, no, it doesn't really make sense for
They
the
look
overall thing.
cool when they're lit up at night time. Looks really cool. But yeah, I don't know how it all ties together. And another thing about Million Splashes of Colour, like, there's no pyro off the castle. The first few days they had this kind of gas leaking from the castle, which is a bit strange. But then they cut that. I think I haven't seen a recent one where it has. But the songs tend to end in a kind of a crescendo that you would expect the Dream and Shine Brighter or the
Something to happen.
Jungle Jive big powder fireworks. Nothing
Yeah.
happens. So
Oh,
all I can hope is that they go against what I said earlier in the podcast, and they bring in new things a few weeks into the show,
yeah, hopefully.
so that by the time I'm there, I get to experience a better version.
Where all the colours come out of the castle
Yeah.
at the end instead
I
of
mean,
gas leaking.
million splashes of white. That's what it is at the moment. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just think again with the grey skies. I mean, but that's why I always like Sleeping Beauty Castle in Paris was always pink, because we always know that we're going to have grey skies most of the year. So you don't put out a parade that's mostly white.
In a grey,
Yeah,
especially starting it in winter time. If they kicked it off in summer, I feel like you'd be more forgiving of it in the winter time. But because it started in winter, that's the first like glimpse that everyone's getting of it, is the grey skies along with it.
you know what's also strange is that I think all the practicing for this show was obviously done during the night time, like as in like 3 or 4 a.m. during the night, and I'd say it looks amazing at night time. I'd say with the lights,
Yeah,
and with
actually,
like Main
yeah.
Street all done up with the unrelated Tinkerbell decorations, I'd say it looks amazing. Maybe the
I know
floats
I
can
would
light up.
love a nighttime parade. I was very lucky at 6 years old to see the electrical nighttime parade
Nice.
when it was there, and all the videos and photos that we have, like, it looks so good. So that would have been good to bring back along with the drone.
Imagine if you had iPhones back then.
It would have been crazy.
It would have been crazy. Oh, and
I would
just
have had all my content ready to go.
there you go. You could be doing something else by now. They're also having a problem with like the floats and the parade. In that, like, I think they're regularly broken or whatever, which is strange because surely they just reused the ones that were there for Dream and Shine Brighter, but apparently not.
Maybe they're keeping them for something else. Fingers crossed. They're going to bring Dream and Shine back out without the 30th spinning medallion on the side of it.
So that is a wrap. Thank you so much, Aisling, for your time. I wanted about 20 minutes of contribution, and you've given me over an hour and a half nearly. So thanks so much. We will definitely have you back on. I thought that you might be able to talk for Ireland, and you've proved me right.
Succeeded. Woo!
I finally have someone on
Thanks
the
for having me
podcast
on.
who can talk me down and like, prevent me from talking so much, which is great. Because I have a terrible habit of talking too much on this podcast. But thank you so much. That is a wrap on episode 10 of Irish Ears, a Disney Fancast. You can keep up to speed with myself, Stuart at DAP Tips for Irish, Aisling at Happily Ever Aisling, and Megan, who can't be here, on Megan Loves Magic socials. Yes, thank you to our special guest Aisling again. It's been lovely having you, and we'll have you back anytime at all. But for now, we will say a biento. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.